everyone, my name is Notepad Adon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working more on sword bastards. Most notably, we're going to be working on weapons. Yes, today is going to be the weapon day. We're going to be doing all the weapons today. Every single weapon. Yes, weapons. Weapons. Weapinos. Fun is a buzzword. Fun is a buzzword. Come on. Everything is a buzzword if you try hard enough. That's the funny part. But yes. Oh, let me just. Ooh, there we are. So, yes, hello. We're going to be working on this today. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Generally speaking, this is going to be one of those odd situations. This is going to be one of those odd bits where it's more like, okay, how do I want to do this particular thing? I filled out this section already. I also put in the rapid fire combat resolution method, which is pretty much just blind drawing for everyone's attacks, which is a little bit easier to do in the long run. Most of this has already been sorted out. I still need to do the images. The images don't take too long to do. They just sometimes take a little bit for me to like sort out like what's working and what's not. So, but yes, we are going to be working on. So, let's get down to business. Okay. Weapons of a more noble era. How do I want to do this properly? Melee weapons cover the, actually, how do I want to do that? Fuck, weaponry in the modern let's see, weaponry in the modern era has seen a radical shift toward more sophisticated metallurgy, metallurgy. I don't think I spelled that right. Let's see, weaponry in the modern era seeing a radical shift toward more sophisticated metallurgy, as well as more devastating effect against the classical knights of old. While the treacherous Avon did not employ heavy cavalry as our brave knights of old. Their armor was thought to be impenetrable for decades before the advent. Their armor was thought to be impenetrable for decades before the advent of leaps in technology. In the modern era, weaponry. The melee weapon is still one of the most common armaments for militaries. Common armaments for militaries and personal use. Every bastard worth their salt will have a weapon of their choice. We'll have a weapon to brandish in conflict, often with lethal consequences. There we go. Deliciosos. Hello, let's see, by the way, VTuber drama news, VShojo is on fire. They've lost a shit ton of Silicon Valley bank mess and a new contract and much less generous. Bailing ship, no shit. Is this the area of punch dagger pistols? Not quite. We weren't there yet. The Apache pistol wouldn't be coming into fruition until for about 100 years. But this was an era like when we first started, like the idea of like a melee army was really starting to end. This is Terrico lines. For those who don't know what a Terrico is, or Terraso, depending on your. This is this era. It is like we still had melee weapons, but it was pike and shot. In another about 50 years, this would quickly shift to shot, pretty much. Like most melee weapons were seeing kind of the dying days of the melee. It was effectively the dying day of the traditional soldier, being more replaced by, here's a musket, learn how to fight. So yeah, this is what a vast majority of your player characters are roughly going to be like. Like you don't really have heavy armor because heavy armor isn't useful at this point. The knight is gone effectively. If we want to be a little bit more condittore, I'm gonna mispronounce that. Yeah, conditorios, and you do have people like these guys, like the condittores, but they're quickly being phased out. Let's just say that. And that's kind of just the nature of the beast. That's kind of the era we're looking at here. On that box, and you lose that box. Yeah, effectively, Lubu, you are seeing you're seeing the distinct problem going forward at this point. It's like, why? It's just not as efficient to have, it's not as really as efficient to use like these, melee forces without being able to shoot back, and that's just not as efficient. But it's kind of like guns weren't as prolific at this era still. So it was like outfitting like a full musketeer branch was a big fucking deal. It's like, oh, this is a pretty big deal to have that much. But in the next 50 years, it'll be almost entirely musket based because just things get cheaper, things get more automated, and things like that. Yeah, this was the era of melee weapons autism right before gun autism replaced it. Effectively, it's the dying days. That's kind of the era we're looking at. Oh, we have things like those combination weapons that's like a spike shield with sword and lantern and a crossbow. No, not really. It's going to be fairly mundane weapons. That's like kind of the big thing here. It's fairly mundane. Also, about the VTuber drama thing with VShojo. This is the funny thing with VShojo. This is all because of SVB. For those who don't know what SVB is, that is Silicon Valley Bank. Silicon Valley Bank was one of the major banking firms in, obviously, the Silicon Valley. The big thing about that particular thing is people keep thinking it's like it has something to do with like the crypto crash. It has nothing really to do with the crypto crash, but it's kind of in the same sphere. Effectively, what was going on with the SVB thing is a little bit confusing. And if you're not quite getting versed in it's a little bit weird. So I'm going to do my best to explain it to people because I find this interesting. Pretty much the idea is SVB here, Silicon Valley Bank. Silicon Valley Bank pretty much put a lot of money in bonds. This was the big thing. They put a bunch of money in these treasury bonds. Now, treasury bonds usually have pretty decent returns on things. Very slow, but very consistent. Because that's how banks usually make their money. They make them on bonds, they loan out a little bit of money, they get some in. Silicon Valley was interesting, though, because what they would do is they would take a lot of investment money in. People would do like a big startup, they wouldn't have any money anymore, it would be a lot of paying out. There was large sums of money being put in, put out, like rapid fire. And the thing is, they would also give out loans to people with other people's money, because again, that's how banks work, is they would bring out these loans to people who were millions of, this is going to be the next $1 million bank idea, $1 million, app idea, $1 million idea. And some of them wouldn't do very well, some of them would do really well, depends on the situation, but a lot of them weren't really paying off as much as they were hoping for. But these treasury bonds were going to be the big thing. However, problem, interest rates spike. interest rates spike. All of the treasury bonds, like the billions of dollars of treasury bonds they have, are now worthless. They are very undervalued compared to what they can do now, and it's just not worth having them. So they choose to dump about, I believe it was a little over $1 billion worth of treasury bonds, trying to recoup some of the losses just so they can buy some of the really good treasury bonds so they can make their money back. Problem. Somebody leaks this information. Hey, Silicon Valley Bank lost billions of dollars. This wasn't supposed to happen. Then we have the bank run. Everyone goes to SVB, pulls out money. There's a problem though. They're insolvent. They do not actually have the money to pay everybody out. So that's bad. They don't have any of this money because all of this money is investor money. All of this money is not real. So they kind of start like, hey, we need money on this $1 million app idea we gave you money for. We need it back now. These $1 million app ideas never got the money because they were terrible fucking ideas or they were just bad. So Silicon Valley Bank is now in a death spiral. They don't have the money to pay everybody back. They can't get the money back anyway. It's over. Jover, SVB dies. Now, the thing with where VShojo comes into this is where things get a little bit interesting. VShojo does not actually make money. They don't make any money. This is actually a fairly well-known thing. What VShojo does is they get a lot of investment money from things such as Athos Capital. They use that investment money and they put it in SVB. SVB is a way to hold their money. They can draw it out. Very easy to understand. However, bank run occurs. VShojo doesn't have any money anymore except what they had effectively in their other accounts. They lose millions. They go from one of the most valuable companies here to worth nothing. They're worth not very much here. They start clamping down on contracts. Hey, we need, instead of the completely free open there, it's now you have to give us a little bit of your money. Hey, someone donates $500, we get 10% of it. Not that bad. That is what most contracts are in the VTuber sphere. Problem is, all of those other girls in other companies and stuff, what usually happens there is that they do not own the model. It would be something like Hololive does not. Hololive buys you your model. They buy you your model. You do things for them. You make a chunk of money. They make a chunk of money from you to effectively pay off their original model. Now, this is where things start getting a little bit wonky. VShojo does not do that. VShojo lets you keep all your model information. They let you keep all of that because they bring people in. They just give you marketing rights. That's how the contract works. We promote you. We get pretty much sales rights. And now we are here. New contract comes in. People don't like it. People bail. They can't sue Neanners for anything because Neanners owns all her IP stuff. They can't sue Silverveil for everything. She owns all her things. They can't sue the other girl. She owns everything there. Now you see the issue. There we go. Yeah. What happened during the last financial crisis? Correct. What happened in 2008 was a little bit different, but the same idea. 2008 was because people were buying all these, how do I want to word this? It's, one of the more, messy things about, 2008. I'm going to do my best to explain. This is a little bit weird. But, this was during the housing crisis. What these banks were doing is they would say, let's say there's 5 people with loans. Yeah, it's let's say we have, loan A, loan B, and then loan C. Let's see, there's these 3 loans. Now, loan A is a good loan. This is a good thing. A really low interest rate. It's reliable. Awesome. Loan B is a pretty bad loan. It's really expensive. You shouldn't hand it out, really. Loan C is an illegal loan. You physically should never have given this out to anybody because it's impossible to pay out. What they were doing is, in fact, bundling all of these together. So it would look like in the books, loan A, B, and C. Yes, there are actually there's a illegal loans are usually from like more reputable institutions like a bank. A bank cannot give you a loan that will cripple you financially. They're not backed by like the FDC. Yeah, there's a bunch of things like that. It's like they're outright illegal. You can't give them out. But what they would do is they would bundle all the loans together. They would bundle all of them to make it look like this, ABC, and then what you would see here is like, oh, all of a sudden, these are all decent loans. Decent loans, and nobody would care. So you can hand these out. You would bundle them all together, and the thing is, people were making bank off of this. People were making huge amounts of money off of it because they would end up trading it back and forth effectively, because what they were doing is that the bank, that certain these lending agencies were effectively like selling the risk to other people to make money off of it. So they were doing like, here's a good loan, you should assume the risk of this. And then other people were taking it, even though there was an outright illegal, impossible loan in there that it was impossible to pay back. So people were buying houses. People were buying houses. People were building houses. People were taking out loan to build more houses. And it was a bunch of these things, like people were buying, people were doing good. The problem is that was a bubble. That bubble burst. People weren't being able to pay back their loans at all. So, because the problem is, if this guy right here can't pay his loan back, this entire thing fails. So a lot of people, they were selling things that were bad. Then it was never buy anything. Then it was never sell anything. And suddenly you realized this person has to pretty much take up the risk of these two. But they couldn't. So these good loans were suddenly becoming bad loans. And then nobody was making loans anymore, and then everything collapsed, literally overnight. It went from 0 to 100 incredibly quickly, just because of a series of bad mistakes and very, very greedy people. The SVB thing is a little bit different. And the SVB thing's a little bit different because it was didn't a bunch of Wall Street investors buy up all the insolvent houses? Yeah, insolvent houses that weren't doing anything. Because people would buy the things here at like a really bad price. It wasn't good for anybody. Like, there's a reason in like 2008, a lot of people would be like, yeah, SVB was just stupid bankers who thought interest rates would stay low. Yeah, and they were handing out money to people who they, for all intents and purposes, should never have handed money out to. But that's a completely different series of problems. Yeah, welcome to financial crises. Financial crises with Notepad. That's why it's actually... How many times are bankers going to have to relearn this fucking lesson? The thing is, this is the big thing, Lubu. Is because somebody finds it, like somebody, banker A finds the money formula. They can make a shit ton of money, and then banker B to Z, then banker B to Z also find the money formula. And then all it takes is if everyone's working together, it works fine. The problem is people always want a little bit more, and there isn't usually enough people to work with it. That's why we're seeing a lot of these, that's why we're seeing actually a shit ton of banks get shut down. Over the past about a year at this point, we've seen a lot of banks start going down, a lot of places not doing too hot. For various reasons. Sometimes it's bad loans, sometimes it's bad, just bad investments. And I know a shit ton of people, and that's why I say like the crypto crash wasn't... The crypto crash was not necessarily tied to SVB, but it was in the same realm. Because you had a lot of these guys who were crypto startups Yeah, you gotta remember, it's like crypto startups were using SVB to store their profits in, and then suddenly SVB doesn't exist anymore because then all the crypto guys pull out money because they fucking fuck. Luna. Let me see. It's a Luna collapsed. What was the other one? I can't remember. SBF. SBF was head of. Mm-hmm. An alleged fraudster. No, he was a fraudster. Like that. FTX. That was it. It was FTX collapses. Luna collapses. A bunch of these places collapse very quickly. Isn't crypto a toxic way to make cash now? It's all regarded as scams. Some places, yeah. But there's a lot of people who invested into things like FTX, who invested in Luna, who invested into a lot of these things because they believed in it. And it was people like, I think FTX was a combination of pure fraudulence, fraudulence, and incompetence. Honest to God, it was just it was fraud and incompetence. And I think SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, again, allegedly is a fraudster who is far more stupid than he thinks he is. FTX was a money laundering scheme. Changed my mind. No, I don't think it's a money laundering scheme. I think this kid realized people were handing him millions and millions of dollars under the premise of a lie that he thought was real, but he wasn't. And then he realized it wasn't real, so he was trying to make all the money he said he was going to be making. And that failed because people... Like, the weird thing is, like, all of crypto... Yeah, it was a basic Ponzi scheme. Don't assume because they were using words like crypto there was anything clever going on. Yeah, words you say kind of, Noonie, you kind of say it pretty good there. I don't think it started as a Ponzi scheme, though. I do not think SBF went into it being like, I'm going to make a Ponzi scheme. No, I think he started it with good intention and then almost immediately realize, oh fuck, I made a Ponzi scheme. Oh fuck, people are playing into the Ponzi scheme. Oh fuck, I'm going to make a lot of money. Hell yeah. I would be in bronze in League forever. Congress got anywhere regulating crypto? No. Well, sort of. They sort of do it. Because right now, you have some issues when it comes to crypto, when it comes to things like securities, that are treating crypto as of right now as another investment rather than its own thing. And crypto, dealing how it's decentralized, it's a lot of reporting assets, and sometimes people don't have to report assets, sometimes they do report them. It's messy. Because the thing is, there is no good way of tracking, like, crypto, really, unless someone is very public about it, or someone, unless it is very public, or it is effectively, like, determined that that's the right one, through a very convoluted process of, like, okay, here's this, here's this, here's this. If you want a really good explanation about all of this, look at CalfeeZilla on YouTube. He goes into depth about how, like, just finding individual wallets. One wallet can spawn into 30 wallets, can spawn into 60 wallets, can spawn into 4 more wallets that go to different places. And that's what a lot of these guys do, is they just transfer out all the money into different places, and then suddenly, hey, I've made a lot of money out of nothing. Ta-da! I've materialized money out of nowhere, but not. Ha ha ha! I've flummoxed you. But yeah, I don't. We may see kind of the see the regulation. This feels like bad stage magic. We may see regulation within, I would say next 5 years. Honestly, crime seems like it needs a higher degree of or IQ for it to work. Well, the thing is, like, crypto doesn't, like, the thing is, crypto is in its most basic form. Like, crypto in its most basic human form is a noble endeavor. Hey, I want to create a universal currency that everyone can use, that's not regulated by, governments or anything like that. It's money for the people. Cool. Fine. Awesome. The problem, the problem when it comes to this is that people are not stupid. People can figure out, hey, wait a second, I can manipulate this to give me more money, or I can manipulate this to make a shit ton of money seemingly out of nowhere. Yeah, crypto is fiat currency, the promise of international violence. Well, you see some places that are doing well, other places aren't doing well. And again, the idea is noble. The idea really is noble. The problem is it's just not how anything like that works. Like, that crypto is, it's really funny. The dream of the ANCAP future is ironically the same problem of the dream of the pure communist future. Both rely on human beings not being stupid. Both of them heavily rely on people being noble. Because in the ANCAP super future, you need people to be noble to not break contract. Because if you have no one enforcing contract properly, except the ANCAP future or whatever, doesn't work. It's like, hey, you want people to obey communist, your communist super state, you have to believe that nobody wants anything else, nobody wants anything more. It's a horseshoe. Yeah, that's why I think capitalism will win at the end. It plays off people's worst traits. Well, the thing is, it's ironically enough, if you want to see like the purest expression of everything, it would be Chinese capitalism. Or Chinese communism, I should say, which is effectively capitalism with extra steps. It's, hey, we control everything you need. Fuck you, buy it. It is pure contempt for other human beings. But it's contempt I think that's like an important quality of things. Again, it's, you damn well know the government wants its fucking money. Yeah, you know the government wants its fucking money, and the government, if anyone tries to cheat the government out of anything, yeah, you're gonna get shot, and nobody wants to get shot, so everyone's gonna keep playing by the rules. I think that's kind of the thing. Like, when you sign a contract with the Chinese government, if you fuck up, you just you go to the forever box. Like, sorry, asshole. It's like, oh. Effectively, if you want the perfect future, it's going to be a dictatorial nightmare state. I love democracy. I love democracy. Sorry, everybody. I think we should return to reject democracy, reject republicanism, go back to the imperial. That's all we need. So democracy would unironically be better if we box bankers. Democracy would be better if everyone was super educated, everybody had everyone's best interest in mind, and there was no minority or majority. That's the unironic truth. There cannot be as long as there is a minority and as long as there is a majority. So this is yes to boxing bankers. Yeah. I think it's democracy is effectively a system to give, actually, how do I want to? Federalized democracy is a way to give the minority power as well as make sure the majority does not rule by tyranny. That's the big thing. And that's why absolute democracy is kind of a shit show. I'll be the first one to say that. Absolute democracy, complete shit show. Because the issue is, as long as there is 51% of people who believe in something, the 49% don't matter. If 51% of people say we should kill 49% of everybody else, the 49% will lose. Simple as. That's absolute democracy. Usually federalized democracy or kind of a regulated democracy is like, hey, this should never come up. It's we can protect the minority just as much as we give to the majority. And that's how the government works, everybody. So let's learn more about weapon. What are styles of weapon that brandish in conflict, often with lethal consequences. Each weapon. Let's see. Each weapon is given. How do I want to do? Because if I want to do this correctly, everything is going to be I'm going to give their name. So we need their name. We need their left, right, and center, and then their ace effects. Actually, we can probably do. So it's going to be name, left, center, right. Standard effects. Actually, we can probably do. How do I want to do? No. Okay. No. Merge these. This is going to be your standard effects. I don't know really what to call it else. And then we're going to do your ace effects. Mundane effect. We'll do like mundane. Would that be okay? Each melee weapon will actually no. Here's what we can. This is going to be hands damage. Actually, we'll do base damage. Hands, pretty much like where you can put it. If it's one-handed, is it two-handed? And then we're going to do effects, and then whatever the ace is. Okay. Each melee weapon is unique to use in the hello phone. What do you need? Each melee weapon is unique to use in combat. Is unique to use in combat through with a variety of effects and restrictions that inform the bastard's choices and actually form the bastard's choices. Why does this day feel like a Wednesday? Well, for me, it's because it's kind of a dreary day. Very dreary today. It was rainy, it was kind of cold. It was restriction that inform the bastard's choices. A weapon will have. Actually, if we do below. There we go. Okay, each weapon will have how do I want to word this? Okay. Weapons, many weapons, each one you need to use in combat. The left, center, and actually left, center, and right part of the, let's see, left, center, and right of the weapon card. Well, I don't know how I would word this. A card, I guess, of the weapon card, I guess. Fuck. Box description. Actually, let's see this. Left, center, and right of the weapon description. Weapon description. Indicates the number of cards that can be placed in the column. Let's see, the number of cards that can be placed in the column when using the weapon. If it is marked with an NA, then as many or few cards can be, or as many cards as many. Hello phone. Mark with NA, then as many cards. Then as many cards as the bastard place in the column. Let's see, the mark with an NA that has many cards the bastard wants can be placed in the column. If the weapon is, let's see, hands indicates if the weapon is one-handed, two-handed. Actually indicates how the weapon. Let's see, hands indicate how the weapon can be used. One-handed weapons. One-handed weapons can. One-handed weapons are actually indicates how the weapon can be used. One or two-handed. Certain weapons will have the switch tag. The switch tag allowing the will have it written as switch, which allows the bastard to choose whether to make it one or two-handed. Base damage is the raw bonus of damage added to a successful strike on an opponent, adding on to whatever the current offense value is to the target. Base damage is not added to the offense when comparing. Let's see, base damage is not added to the offense when comparing. Just the amount of only not added to when the offense when comparing during the comparison phase. comparison only if the attack manages to only if the attack manages to land a blow. Effectively, what this means that if you have a weapon that does like +2 or whatever, like +2 damage, you don't actually get that as your like an offense bonus. That's not how that works. What you do is you get it as a raw bonus damage after everything. You may put down 12 damage, but if they block, you don't do anything. You don't add it to it. But if you get 1 damage through, you suddenly do 3 damage to them. That's kind of how that works. As long as you successfully hit, you're going to do extra damage. Okay, let me read. Can someone get in trouble by publishing a fan game even if you give it out for free? Depends on the circumstance. Like technically, if you want to be specific about it, I can publish, quote unquote, like on itch.io, any of the games I've done for other franchises for complete free, indicating that I'm not selling anything, and it most likely won't get picked up by anybody. However, if you're like, this is an official product of this, then you're going to get smacked even if it is free. You need to clearly indicate that this is a fan project, and it is no way affiliated with this. And it is, I am in no way affiliated. Some companies might take issue with it, like, let's say for example, Nintendo. Nintendo will take issue with it, even if you use something vaguely similar. So it's like, hey, I want to make a fucking Pokemon game. I can't slap Pokemon on there and then be like, oh, this is a Pokemon game on like itch. They might get a little pissy with you then. Like Pokeroll and like like a couple of like the Pokemon RPGs, they kind of get away with it by virtue of very clearly and very evidently always pointing out that they don't make any money from it. Which all of those projects would have been taken down immediately if they were making any money from it. And they also like don't really put it up anywhere except if you go to their particular site. That's how that works. Welcome to property law. Okay, so finally effects effects. Problems. The weapon grants the user. Effects with mundane notes and problems. A weapon grants the user, allowing them to gain raw bonuses. Raw bonuses to certain situations. Let's see. Problems. Weapon grants the user. These may be narratives, such as being concealable. Or may grant bonuses or penalties. Penalties such as a -2 combat skill. Finally, the aced skill. The aced effect. The aced effect is when an ace is played. When revealed, the ace effect will take place. The ace effect will take place and resolve itself. Resolve itself first. If multiple ace effects take place, the combatant with the larger I should say red ace. Red aces take priority. Red aces, let's see, multiple ace effects take place. Red aces take priority, then diamond aces take priority. Actually, it would be if multiple ace effects take place. Priority is given as follows. Let me see. Mm. 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 Um. So let's see. This would be spades. Spades has chief priority. It'd be spades, clubs, hearts, diamond. I believe that would be it. Spades, clubs, hearts, diamonds. There we go. Actually, no, it would be and then we'll do highest, and this will be lowest. Because the idea is that spades is going to be your more of like, this is your combat stuff. Then we go to like more fancy would be diamond. Yeah, okay. Priority is given as follows: spades, clubs, hearts, diamonds. So if I play the ace of diamonds, and then you play the ace of spades, your thing is going to go first, then mine. Okay. Can I do this? I can do this. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. Now we start trying to get weapons in place. Cool. This is honor and intrigue. It's great. So here's what we're going to do. We're literally just going to take a variety of, let's write down a variety of weapons here. And we're just going to write in a handful of them. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need cloak yet. Club. Actually, we probably don't even need. I guess we can do. When was the socket bayonet invented? When was the socket bayonet? Let me see. Plug bayonet, 1606. Okay, wait. Okay, no. Plug bayonets didn't really pop up until 1689. They were mostly plug bayonets. So, it's pretty much just a dagger, so we don't really need that. Club, so we have axe club. We don't really need crossbow yet, so we can also use the dagger. Let's see. I'm gonna put the garrote down here, and this is gonna be kind of a special piece of gear. It's gonna be like, yeah, garroting someone is, yeah. Hold right here. Parrying dagger. We're going to do a short spear and a long spear. Yeah, short spear, long spear. We're going to use pretty much just the staff. That's fine with me. We're going to be doing Veep. Do we put in a whip? Guess we can. I mean, whips are kind of silly, but now we start getting into swords, otherwise known as the épée. The épée, short sword. Actually, we can probably do straight sword, broadsword, which leads into curved backsword. We can probably do sabers and cutlasses to be slightly different from one another. I guess we can put scimitars in there as their own thing. Great swords, easy enough to understand. Yeah, do I just actually, we can, we'll just do sabers because I like sabers. Yeah, welcome to almost every single weapon. Okay, that, let me think. Okay, so I guess you can, if we do épée, sharp point dueling sword, thrusting and used. As large and heavy as 3 weapons, sport of fencing. Sword type by classification and region. Here's the épée. Have no fear. Ah, no. No. Early modern period. Side sword. Have no fear. So, we want to do this correctly. If we want to do autistic sword bullshit. So, lose Zweihände, Spada, Kaltbaga, Spada de Lato, or side sword. This would be the side sword, so we'll use a side sword. Kaltbaga, an arming sword, but I guess we can actually change the straight sword to, actually I guess we can add the arming sword. The arming sword being more along the idea of kind of like the medium weight, like, yeah, this is, yeah, last resort. Then we move on to comically large weapon and S-stock. Yeah, then we have the rapier. The clone of black sword, crab sword. Fucking crab. It's the crab sword. Let's we have the saber, we have basket hilted, the hunting sword. So, okay. So, how this is gonna look? Let's just do. I guess let's start with the man of the hour a little bit here. Okay, this is primarily going to be used with one hand. Base damage is going to be 1. Effects is going to be See, this is the thing, is like there's not really that much you can do with like a rapier, for example. I can actually cut it with these two reliably. Is this the age of the Three Musketeers? Yes. Swordbreaker would be a would be pretty much a parrying dagger. So what would be some effects? Rapiers are probably going to be your most reliable weapon available. I guess none. I guess there wouldn't really be a. I guess you wouldn't really need this. So ace. So effects. Next, we do aced, for example. We can do what would be what am I let's actually the rapier moves straight through the defense of their foe, reducing reducing 0. Yep, easy enough to understand. And yeah, that's what the rapier does. It has the ability to impale a motherfucker. So yeah, this is what a basic weapon might look like. Not exactly the most creative thing in the world, but they don't need to be creative. So let's do these are largest ones. Let me see, something ZP. Heaviest combat. And similar to the foil. Contrasting the saber. Different blade than them. There we go. Yeah, I guess if we want to be so if we want EPs to be a little bit larger, so yeah, the dueling sword, ultimate drive from Latin Spatha, introducing it. Yeah, so this is the Spatha. Effectively, it's a long sword. But if we're using civilian weapons such as the commonly used dueling swords. By the late 17th century, most commonly used dueling swords. So yeah, so they are mostly dueling swords. With their heavier, the EP is a heavier one, which is going to be the same thing, but the AP is still a stabbing weapon. Yeah, it's a thrusting weapon. So as a thrusting weapon, it's going to be still have all of this. It's going to be a little bit extra damage. Dual wielding dueling swords. Technically, you would be able to do a sword. You'd be able to have a dagger in one hand and a sword in the other. I do plan on having that. I just doing it all at this point and adding in like how do you add special effects to things like this. Actually, I mean, okay, so an Italian fashion, German innovation, the cup hilt. Fashion throughout Europe, most of your classes, not without a detractor. George Silver disapproved technical potential in dueling, which you, I call it thrusting which can involve medium. I guess we don't need the EP. We don't need the EP because we have the rapier, and the rapier would be around more of this time period. I'm trying like, if I don't need it, I'm not going to add it, so we don't need this. I guess we can do a straight sword. Straight swords. They're not going to have that. They're going to be a little bit more, you know, kind of around the... Actually, what we can do is we can even do something like this. Like, there's only so much you can do with a straight sword, but if you know what you're doing, you can kind of do a little bit like this. Doesn't have that base damage, but straight swords are reliable, so you're going to get a combat skill. Actually, no, and we tie it to certain combat skills because that saves time and a little bit of effort. Ha! I know what I'm doing. Fighting styles. Fighting styles. So we have agility, brutal, deliberate, and fanciful. These are fighting styles. We have our fighting styles. We have our initiative. We've got our 3 columns. So if we use these as our basic ideas here, we can actually say, +1 combat skill fanciful, +1 combat skill agility. Pretty much, if you're a fancy fucker, you're going to want a rapier because you're going to be able to do things a little bit more. What we're going to do, your ace skill, which is going to be, we have a straight sword. This entire thing is like we're trying to go around. We want to block blows. You're trying to use this as your most reliable weapon. This is actually The straight sword has seen a dozen wars and will continue to do such. Top deck 2 cards. Yeah, you're just going to be able to top deck 2 cards right off the bat. If you draw an ace, you're just going to immediately be able to top deck two more. So there's a lot of advantage to that, which is going to lead to, we already have you, which we're going to go to the arming sword all of a sudden. So we're going to do the arming sword. NA. Hands 1, base damage 1, effects. It is going to be combat skill. It's going to be concept skill, agility +1. The idea behind using a cape is that you're using one of your hands to break away from it, which is, I'm gonna have to get later into equipment, but it's kind of like the idea that, hey, I can only use like an ace effect if I have it in my right hand. If I have my sword in my right hand, I have to use the ace in my right or my center. Or I could use it as with my cape. So if I have a cape in one hand and a rapier in the other, I can use the cape to get like, little bonuses here and there, and I'm also having my sword. Boom, 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 boom. I can still use it to attack, but it's more like I'm trying to I'm more trying to work around it than anything. However, having, you have a cape, you're kind of trying to do things there. That's a completely different way of doing things. Equipment's going to be the core thing here, but I still need to get this to work properly. Well, that's going to be the fun part. Still not 100% of the combat skill, like raw bonuses. Yep, +2 damage if the weapon connects. Not a lot of damage. I should say, we'll do +3 damage. That's all it is. Arming sword is your very reliable weapon. Actually, I'm going to take away the combat skill bonus. Doesn't need it. It is a very reliable weapon because that's what arming swords do. There are broadsword. So, combat skill -1. Knightly honor. Actually, we can probably just. Why don't we just do this? Broadsword. Broadsword is a military weapon through and through. Deal +3 if the weapon connects. A little bit different the way you have to approach it, because you're actually taking a combat skill penalty to it, but you're getting the bonus damage right off the bat. The entire idea is the broadsword's a little bit less reliable overall, but if you're more skilled at using it, then yeah, no shit, use it. Like, you're gonna do better with it, because it's a fucking broadsword. Saber. NA, we're only going to do 2 in the center. Hands 1, base damage 0, combat skill. Agility +1. Slashes, saber, Let's see, the saber is adept at rapid slashes back and forth. Take a, let's see, take any card from this column. Take any card from this column and place it in, take any card from this column and place it in either the left or right column that has not been revealed. There we go. Pretty much you can reposition your cards if you have a saber, but again, you can only put 2 in, you can only put 1 in the center. You can put a single card in the center. A little bit more about positioning there. Bang, bang, bang. How do you feel about your character being able to do more damage with the weapon if they're more skilled in it? AKA, the damage comes from their skill with it, not the type of weapon. I usually, it depends on the situation, but there comes some points where it's like, yeah, this weapon is naturally just really fucking scary, and if you get hit by it, it doesn't really matter. For example, a gun. It does not matter how qualified or how cool you are with a gun. You could be an untrained moron, but if I shoot you with a Mossberg at point blank range, doesn't matter how cool I am with the weapon, you're not going to get back up from it. You're not going to have a fun time. Sometimes when it comes to like sword fighting and things like that, it is really reliant on the person using the weapon. Hence why, technically, if your combat skill is super high, that pretty much means just you have more cards to play with. And if you have more cards to play with, suddenly, let's say you have a combat skill of 8 all of a sudden. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can, take into my hand and I look at it a little bit and I'm like, oh, I have a venerable shit show of a hand. I have no defense in it, but I don't really need defense because I've placed down an 8 over here. Hell, I put down my ace over there. And let's say I'm using just my rapier, for example. I placed down my 7 there. And I place down a defense there. Oh, you're declaring unguard, so I get the advantage right off the bat because I have a 7. Actually, I have a queen here. I get to go first. My first attack goes straight through your defense and deals 15 damage right off the bat. You're probably going to die. Like, yeah, you just go down before anything really occurs. Sorry. Ta-da! Whoopsie doopsie. I've done 16 damage to you, and you're just not getting back up. So, Saber. We've done the Saber. Zweihander. The Zweihander. NA. Center, we're only going to put 4 in there. Hands, 2. Base damage. Actually, we should do, two-handed. Oh yeah. Give broadsword the switch where they're allowed to switch it up. If you have to use a two-handed to do things, and that means you can't really do other things with it, so that's fine. Zweihander is entirely two-handed. Combat skill is going to actually be, you're just going to get a flat -2 to all of your combat skills here. However, what do we want to call it? Okay, the Zweihander is a merciless weapon. It will top deck 3 cards, adding any offense as damage. It'll top deck 3 cards, adding any offense's damage if it successfully strikes an opponent. Bonus damage is going to be a straight 4. How do I want it? Go back up here. Let me use card. Okay, if it is marked as NAX, then any number of cards may be placed. Then any number of cards may be placed in one column. Maybe placed in one column, reducing all other NAX columns to the X value of cards. So the entire idea is, with the Zweihander, you have to make a choice. If you put a single card down in the left, you have to go all left. You can't go right anymore. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna stack hardcore on my left. And the thing is, your opponent needs to understand that as well. It's like, oh, well, I feel pretty confident if I strike from the right, I'm going to be able to catch him off guard. There's a problem with this, however, is that if they allow you to get through on the left, you've just decapitated a motherfucker. You've just killed someone. Like, there's no coming back from getting hit like that. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm dead now. Like, so again, it's like, okay, how do I react to you? How do I know that you're going to have to go all in on one side? And like, where are you actually going? Or do you go all center, which is going to fuck my day up even more? Oh no! Then we get to the side sword. Side sword and let's see, the side sword. The side sword. Side sword is a nasty little weapon on the actually I should say concealable and sidearm. Is a nasty little surprise to the unaware. If using a cheat deck, if using a cheat line card, when using cheat line card in this weapon's hand, If using a cheat line card, its effects are doubled. There we go. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, hey, I know there's an ace here. I want to draw a cheat. I want to use a cheat card because I know there's going to be an ace here. And again, fuck with your opponent a little bit. Hey, if I make a clear indication that I take one of those, if I take one of those cards and I place it down there, you, the GM, now have to make a decision. Hey, is he using a cheat line card because there's an ace there, or is he using a cheat line card because he needs +5 defense all of a sudden? If you get too cocky, that +5 suddenly becomes a 10 and you've got complete parried and you get stabbed. If you make the right call, maybe there's nothing there. Maybe you don't. Maybe you are able to go through, but you overcommitted on one side and he just pops you in the face on the other. So being ambidextrous is a benefit in the extreme. That'll most likely be a talent. Is like, yeah, you're ambidextrous. You can use weapons in both hands. It's like, I am not left-handed. You throw it into your right hand or whatever. Unaware of using cheat line cards. Effect are doubled. Okay, so we want to do swords. Swords. Swords, other weapons. We'll do the we'll do piercing. The axe is designed to hack away. It's designed to hack away trees. Is designed to hack away trees and hack away wood and limbs. If automatically goes up 1 wound tier. Automatically goes up 1 wound tier. Yeah, getting hit with an axe means, hey, I'm losing my I've got my hand almost chopped off with a goddamn axe. The only issue is that axes are not very good weapons. We're gonna do like 222 across the board. Like, a hand axe is not like a great weapon, all things considering, because it's not really designed to be like a fighting weapon. If we want to be a little bit more precise, we can do where do I want to word this? It went to wouldn't necessarily call it like it wouldn't be it would be like it'd be like yeah, it'd be like a pioneer's axe. That's kind of the idea. Like phase that's involved increasing use of gunpowder, Prince of Royalist General. This picture carrying battle axe was not merely decorative symbol of authority. Short pole axe was adopted by Royalist cavalry to penetrate round troopers' helmets. You're doing close quarter short. Parliamentarian No, parliamentary. It was effectively a poleaxe. That's the thing. It was effectively a poleaxe. Mm. Yeah, this is a poleaxe. Everyone likes the poleaxe. um, mm, mm. Hello, phone. Hello, phone. What's up? What's up, phone? I'm gonna tune you on there, Mom. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't really care. How would you feel about saving throws? Saving throws. You would have death rolls. You have an arbitrary number that tells you how long you have until you bleed out. So let's say you roll D4 or D6 and you take away that much from your death count. That could be kind of annoying to some people and be a little bit tedious, but it could work. I would say it'd be a little bit tedious because it would be like, how do I want to word this? You would need to keep track of a lot of different variables all at once. And doing that could possibly be just kind of frustrating rather than like, oh boy, it's just like, okay, this is just kind of just one-handed, combat skill +1, brutal +1. Actually, we want to do that. Two-handed, combat skill, brutal +1. And then we add piercing. Hack away at limbs. Yeah, there we go. We don't really need it. You know, the short poleaxe. Short poleaxe is designed to hack away at limbs. Oh no, I don't have any limbs left. Please help me. Owie zowie, my bony wonies. We do that. We do that, and we add in the club. Club 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Hands 1. Hands one-handed. Base damage 0. Effect stun. Effect stun aced. KO blow. If the target has no, let's see, it knocks one out of the target. If the target has no bravado, then they are automatically knocked unconscious. Knocks a win out of the target if successfully dealing damage. If damage is successful. If damage is successful, and damage is successful, and the damage has no bravado, and they're automatically knocked unconscious. You just knock the fucker out, like he's out, which does bring to hammer, which we're going to do something along the idea of, what is the Zweihander who bring on the boys. Center's going to be 1, hands 2-handed, base damage 4, effect stun. The Warhammer. With a unholy snapping sound. With an unholy snapping sound. Actually, how do we want it? No. If the target takes any wounds, this round, any wounds from this column, it is deal an additional +5. You're always gonna do, like, yeah, it's like no matter what you do, like, you're going to just get crushed underneath the Warhammer. Like, yeah, you're not doing too hot. Wound tier goes up one wound tier. Yeah, Warhammer just means you're not going to have a lot of fun getting just absolutely just getting murked. The dagger, good old dagger. We're going to do 1 hand, 0 base damage. Effects, it's going to be offhand, it's going to be a sidearm. Sidearm, I'm going to put quick on there as well, because pretty much they'll always get victory. Actually, what we can do is fire you that way. How do I want to? Because I want the idea of the dagger being like really fast, like you just rush up there and like you just try to stab him right in the gut. Actually, rapid, let's see, the target removes 1 defense card. The target removes 1 defense card from the, let's see, target removes 1 defense card from the attack, from their side during the comparison phase. Pretty much by virtue of being fast, you can go through one of their defense cards, but they're going to be the one choosing it. So if they have like an 18 and a 10, they're going to have an 8 and a 10. They're obviously going to remove the 8, but that's 8 damage. But if they have like a 2 and a 4, it's like, yeah, that's not going to be as valuable because they're just going to remove the 2. But it's like, yeah, you're just going to be removing one of the defense cards. If they want to choose a higher one, I'm not going to say they can't. They just choose 1 defense card. Actually, I should, removes the lowest defense card from their side during the comparison. Is there? going through, but daggers aren't really that useful. The main gash, let me double check what the main gash is all about. Yeah, it's pretty much just an advanced parrying dagger. Technically, there's 2 of them. Technically, there's 3 of them. So we do the traditional one. Okay, no. Sidearm. It's a sidearm. Doesn't get any damage. However, it's sidearm, but it does have a special effect, which that special effect is convert all. Convert all. It's optional. Convert all. Convert all spades slash. Actually, convert all offense into defense, convert all offense into defense, or defense into offense. Convert all offense into defense or defense into offense. Pretty much when you flip over, you have the option with the main gash to change whatever the fuck you want about it. So, for example, you look at your hand and you're like, okay, I put down a 10 and a 6, a 10 and 6 of clubs. You can say, I'm going to convert all of that into offense. However, if you say, it's like, oh, they have the ability to absolutely kill me, I'm not really going to be able to do that. But say, for example, I drew let's say I have an 8 of diamonds and a 6 of clubs. I can convert that 8 into defense, or I can convert that 6 into offense. I can't do both, which is going to be one of the gimmicks of the ace ability, however. Convert all of one or more suits into offense or defense. Which we're going to do. For example, I have a 5 of clubs, 5 of spades, 6 of hearts, and 5 of clubs, and 5 of diamonds. Actually, 5 of clubs, 5 of clubs, 5 of clubs, 5 of spades, and 8 of diamonds. I can individually 5 of clubs, 5 of clubs, spades. I can individually change the clubs or spades. Spades into offense. I can individually change the clubs or spades into offense. Let's see, I have 5 of clubs and 5 of spades. I can individually change the clubs or pretty much Turn the Tide gives you a little bit more finer control over your hand rather than just like its raw ability, which is just all or nothing. Going all or nothing has its benefits, but it's kind of like, hey, I damn well know I need a little bit of defense. I need a little bit of offense. I have a little bit of that advantage, and suddenly, I'm like, okay, you're on your ass and you're dying, and I win. Ha 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 ha, fuck you. A parrying dagger on, and actually, I guess I can convert. No, I can put the parrying dagger into. I mean, I guess they're technically like the same thing. That's kind of the issue. I guess we can change this to a sword breaker. Mm. 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 Blades. Mm. If a successful defense is carried out, the opponent loses. The opponent loses -1 combat skill, and the aced ability of their weapon until it can be repaired. You pretty much take away the aced quality of a weapon being you. If you use the broken blade, if you use the sword breaker, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but if you are successful with it, it's clink, clink, clink. You don't, like, yeah, you lose combat skill as well as their aced ability, so you can't do any of these things anymore because your fucking sword's broken, or it's chipped, or something is clearly wrong with it. It's like, well, fuck, my weapon's now, like, ruined. You broke my McFucking sword, asshole. my weapon. You broke my weapon. Short spear. Actually, we're going to do NA. Two effects. It doesn't really have. Actually, I put a weapon on there. Keep back. When revealed, the target removes 1 offense card, removes the lowest offense card. Removes the lowest offense card in their column. The target removes in their column, pretty easy to understand. Long spear, on the other hand, the spear is going to have still pretty bad. I'm actually even going to do like one. It's going to be like one on both sides. Like, you don't even really get an option for it. This is going to be a two-handed weapon. Base damage is going to be 3. Effects is going to be long. So pretty much you get priority. Like, if there is ever a moment of priority, you get it. You always are going to be treated as if you have higher. Then we're going to keep away. Keep away. When revealed, the target removes the highest offense card in their column. Removes the highest offense card in their column. There we go. Little bit different, but it does change the nature of things. Short spears are going to be like, if you have an 8 and a 10, you're going to remove the 8. You're going to be removing the 8. Still a lot, big deal. If you are a long spear, you're going to be removing the 10. But if they have a 2 and a 10, long spear is going to do a lot more work for you. Why do they start making 10 side percentile dice sideways? Huh? I don't get what you're talking about there. I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah. We want to do a staff. Which we're gonna do 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Actually, we're gonna do 2 NA. We'll do 3, 3, and base damage is gonna be -5. Long, and it's gonna be stun. They're only going to have keep back. Yeah, you're gonna do like no damage with the staff, but you're going to get the stun ability, which is if you do manage to hit, you're gonna remove their, like, you're not really gonna hurt. Actually, you know, we can even do it like a -2 or something. Like, you're really not gonna do that much damage with the staff, but you're gonna be able to stun them, pretty much removing combat effectiveness from them, as well as a bunch of other things, as well as being able to remove offense cards. So it's like, yeah, you're just going bonk, 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 bonk. That should be it. So we do the, I don't think we really need the, we really need the whip. I don't think we, so let's take a double check. Top deck 2 cards, reduce defense to 0. Not a lot of weapons, but we don't really need that many. Actually, sealable. Quick means you're going to be going first pretty consistently. Long means you're going to get pretty much, quick gives you an advantage over everything. Long is going to give you like a bigger bonus. It's like, yeah, by default, you're going to be kind of going first if it comes down to it. The Zweihander is just a meaty penalty to combat skill, which I should kind of give the Warhammer as well, I think, yeah. Well, I think it will giving it a -2 combat skill to use the Warhammer. I think that's fair because you're going to be able to fucking kill people pretty fast with it. Oh yeah. Okay, let's take a quick check on. Let's take a quick check on. You can do something like that. Let me see. I guess we can do brutal agility. I guess with Saber we can do brutal and agility. I think that would work. So it's kind of like the Saber and the Rapier are a little bit polar opposites of one another. They do about the same thing, but the Saber is a lot more aggro than the Rapier, but the Rapier can get off like one big fucking hit if it does manage to hit. The Saber really needs its one. If the Saber does manage to get off a hit, it's going to be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna fuck your day up a little bit here, but why are the numbers on the dice sideways? Like a D10? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you seem straight side up for me. Kind of, maybe it depends on which dice. I don't really know. I don't really have any of those. Oh, unless you're talking about the ones that are a little bit, one that are written sideways, I guess. I mean, they're a little bit easier to read because you actually have a little bit more of a face for it. You have more room to work with, and sometimes they're a little bit easier for people to read. Like me, who is fucking blind. So if we do that... So, actually, weapons of an ignoble era, which would be ranged, and then we do, mm, mm, bygone era, on man. Okay. Weapons of an ignoble age. Weaponry has evolved over the years. One of the chief inventions of the modern era has been gunpowder. Changing the face of battlefields. Changing the face of battlefields since has been the armed legions of musketeers, armed with the latest and greatest, firearms today. While pike formations still dominate the field. Changing the face of the battlefield has been armed legion. Still dominate the field. Gradually more of these musket wielding men have shown up. While guns are not common, in the lower districts. While guns are not common in lower districts of the city, few firearms find themselves in circulation, especially the prized pistol. One shot from one of these at close range will kill any man. This doesn't mean weapons of yesteryear. This doesn't mean weapons of yesteryear have faded. Crossbows, and let's see, when did the crossbow go out of fashion? Mm. 15th century. China, Southeast Asia. Give me medieval Rome. Let's see. Use of matchlock and a firearm later. Yeah, so crossbows saw in regular use throughout 1607. For example, Maria Pica's husband was killed by crossbowmen of the English Armada in 1589. So yeah, by this point, crossbows were kind of out of fashion. Right? Bow and arrow. Let me see. Mm. Crossbows and mm. Would be a recurve bow. Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And the occasional recurve bow. Let's see. This doesn't mean the weapons of yesteryear are faded. Crossbows and the occasional recurve bow. Recurve bow. Find themselves. Used for quieter. Used for quiet operation. For quiet operations. Mm-hmm. Mm. They are, because again, ranged weapons aren't really like that. You don't really choose to do them like normal, if that makes sense. So what we're going to be doing here is going to be the name of the weapon. Name of the weapon. We're going to delete these 2 rows. It's going to be the number of hands required. It's going to be .5. So yeah, it's gonna be hands, and it's going to be damage type. Since we don't really need, we can probably use the exact same note we have up here for hands and get number of hands. The type of damage the weapon will deal. The type of damage the weapon will deal. Actually, Mastered will not engage. Will not engage in a duel. Instead, they will make a check. They will make a check determined by the. Oh, they make a check. They will make a check determined by the range and conditions. Range and condition of the weapon and range of the conditions of the weapon and situation. Range and conditions of the weapon and situation. If the challenge, I will make a challenge. Well, if the challenge is successful, damage will be applied based on the damage type. Hands indicates the number of hands. There we go. Damage type. The type of damage the weapon will deal. Lethal damage. Actually, no, we'll do deadly damage. And do as we can do. Control 7. Deadly damage. Immediately place the target at mortal wounds. Immediately place the target at mortal wounds. No, no, I don't. There we go. Oh, god damn it. You're not gonna play nice with me, are you? Deadly, immediately place target at mortal wounds. This would be heavy. Immediately place the target at light wounds. If shot again, the target will go up by 3, 2, or 1. 3, 2, or 1. Damn it. 3, 2, or 1. By another wound tier. By another new wound tier. If shot again, the go up will go up by another wound tier. Pretty much the idea is like, if you get hit by a heavy weapon, if you get shot by like an actual like heavy damaging weapon, you got heavy wounds, and then you're gonna be at mortal wounds, and then you're gonna be, you know, dying. But if it's like little light wounds, it's like, yeah, it's immediately doing wound damage. That's the kind of the issue with it. It's like, yeah, you've immediately taken wound damage, and now you are not doing too hot. You're dying. Have fun. You're going to die. Unmerge these, and we can do there we go. That's let's see. Type of a negative 1, 2, or 3. Perfect. Conditions must be ideal for the weapon to be let's see. Conditions must be ideal for the weapon to be used within proper range. Actually, fucking, what am I doing? Not the column. I need to delete the row. So yeah, this is literally all we. One-handed, deadly. That's literally all we're needing to write down here. It's, are you within ideal range? Yes. Are you, are you in a position to actually hit? Yes. Like, yeah, are you point blank? Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We can add a column to the right. Range. Mm. 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 Target is how do I target is within arm's reach. Target can be seen. Target is what would be a good way of putting this? Pretty much it's like, are you literally within arm's reach? Are you within I guess we can do like within like a room distance, like mm, 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 mm. The range of the weapon. If exceeding the range, then then it incurs a and incurs chaos. And incurs chaos to the challenge. Pretty much things get harder. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's a lot harder for just about everyone to do whatever they want to do. So what we can do is we delete that table, we do that, we put that here. We do a flintlock pistol. One-handed, deadly weapon, and it is close range. You gotta be fucking close to pop someone using this thing. But it's one of those things where it's deadly, where if you do manage to get the shot off, that person's not getting back up. Like, you've won. Like, congratulations, you have successfully, clearly killed a man. Like, he's not going to get back up. He's not going to have any... He is not a threat any longer. Musket. So we can add one more here. Mm. Mm. Actually. Different qualities of the weapon, and its effects effects on the situation. Different qualities of the weapon and effects on the situation. If we do that and we merge all of you together, actually, what we need to do, we need to select you. We need to put it right here. Loud and reload. Pretty much are not going to be doing that in fucking combat. Reload. Loud and reload. Crossbow, which leads to recurve bows. Which leads to that, which a recurve bow getting hit is going to leave you in. Go. Any effects there, because there isn't really any effects for a basic recurve bow, because it's a fucking recurve bow. That would be another good, It's concealable. Not really anything too exciting there. It's very concealable. Okay. That brings us there. Oh, flintlock. Cool. So equipment and gear. Okay, so throughout their adventure, the bastards will amass an amount of gear and supplies to use on their heists and jobs. Certain pieces of gear will be equipped. Certain gear will be equipped to a hand. Let's see. Certain pieces of gear will be equipped to a hand. Others just worn on. The person. Others just worn on the person, and even some simply coiffed. Simply coiffed, which is a fun one. Simply coiffed in moments of desperation. Below is a small selection of different types of Mm. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. It's a little bit late right now, and I feel my voice is kind of giving out, so I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna try to get this done by Wednesday, and then on Wednesday we're just gonna finish up. It's just going to be advancement. I don't think that's going to be very long. We just have to write a lot of we just have to write talents, and talents are going to be a pain in the ass. But hey, welcome to my fucking life. Equipment and gear. I have some ideas of what I want to do. I might actually like just fold that into something else, or kind of just make it go somewhere else. It kind of depends on the situation. But yeah, that's the plan for right now. We are almost done. Again, we've hit the final hurdle, which is just a lot of fucking equipment. God, I hate writing equipment. So I'm gonna call it there. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Andon. Hope you have a wonderful night. I will see you all probably tomorrow if things go according to plan. I'm gonna be doing the cartel video, which will go out on Wednesday. And if we get done early, I will do a Dark Messiah stream. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you. Goodbye.